Part 3 from Le Morte Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory, pages 253 through 256. Previously, Gawain and Launcelot have battled twice, as Gawain seeks revenge for his brother's deaths. Launcelot seriously wounds Gawain, despite Gawain's ability to increase his strength each day for 3 hours until noon. Gawain insists on fighting to the death, but Launcelot refuses to kill him while he is on the ground. Then Arthur gets a message that he must return to England immediately. Side note, who is Mordred's mother? We find out that in this story, Mordred's mother, Margase, is Arthur's aunt. She is also the sister of Morgan le Fay, and she is the mother of Gawain. Mordred and Gawain are cousins and half-brothers. It's complicated. Part 3, page 253. The Day of Destiny. During the absence of King Arthur from Britain, Sir Mordred, already vested with sovereign powers, has decided to usurp the throne. Accordingly, he had false letters written announcing the death of King Arthur in battle and delivered to himself. Then, calling a parliament, he ordered the letters to be read and persuaded the nobility to elect him king. The coronation took place at Canterbury and was celebrated with a 15-day feast. Sir Mordred then settled in Camelot and made overtures to Queen Guinevere to marry him. The queen seemingly acquiesced, but as soon as she had won his confidence, begged to leave to make a journey to London in order to prepare her trousseau. Sir Mordred consented, and the queen rode straight to the tower, which, with the aid of her loyal nobles, she manned and provisioned for her defense. Sir Mordred, outraged, at once marched against her and laid siege to the tower, but despite his large army, siege engines and guns was unable to effect a breach. He then tried to entice the queen from the tower, first by guile and then by threats, but she would listen to neither. Finally, the Archbishop of Canterbury came forward to protest. "Sir Mordred, do you not fear God's displeasure? First, you have falsely made yourself king. Now you, who were begotten by King Arthur on his aunt, try to marry your father's wife. If you do not revoke your evil deeds, I shall curse you with bell, book, and candle." "Fie on you! Do your worst," Sir Mordred replied. "Sir Mordred, I warn you, take heed, or the wrath of the Lord will descend upon you. Away, false priest, or I shall behead you." The Archbishop withdrew, and after excommunicating Sir Mordred, abandoned his office and fled to Glastonbury. There he took up his abode as a simple hermit, and by fasting and prayer sought divine intercession in the troubled affairs of his country. Sir Mordred tried to assassinate the Archbishop, but it was too late. He continued to assail the queen with entreaties and threats, both of which failed. And then the news reached him that King Arthur was returning with his army from France in order to seek revenge. Sir Mordred now appealed to the barony to support him, and it has to be told that they came forward in large numbers to do so. Why, it will be asked? Was not King Arthur the noblest sovereign Christendom had seen, now leading his armies in a righteous cause? The answer lies in the people of Britain who, then as now, were fickle. Those who so readily transferred their allegiance to Sir Mordred did so with the excuse that, whereas King Arthur's reign had led them into war and strife, Sir Mordred promised them peace and festivity. Hence it was, with an army of 100,000, that Sir Mordred marched to Dover to battle against his own father and to withhold from him his rightful crown. As King Arthur with his fleet drew into the harbor, Sir Mordred and his army launched forth in every available craft, and a bloody battle ensued in the ships and on the beach. If King Arthur's army were the smaller, their courage was the higher, confident as they were of the righteousness of their cause. Without stint, they battled through the burning ships, the screaming wounded, and the corpses floating on the blood-stained waters. Once ashore, they put Sir Mordred's entire army to flight. The battle over, King Arthur began a search for his casualties, and, on peering into one of the ships, found Sir Gawain mortally wounded. Sir Gawain fainted when King Arthur lifted him in his arms, and when he came to, the king spoke. "Alas, dear nephew, that you lie here thus mortally wounded. What joy is now left to me on this earth? You must know it was you and Sir Launcelot I loved above all others, and it seems I have lost you both." "My good uncle, it was my pride and my stubbornness that brought all this about. For had I not urged you to war with Sir Launcelot, your subjects would not now be in revolt. Alas, that Sir Launcelot is not here, for he would soon drive them out. And it is at Sir Launcelot's hands that I suffer my own death. The wound which he dealt me has reopened. I would not wish it otherwise, because is he not the greatest and gentlest of knights? I know that by noon I shall be dead, and I repent bitterly that I may not be reconciled to Sir Launcelot. Therefore I pray you, good uncle, give me pen, paper, and ink, so that I may write to him." A priest was summoned, and Sir Gawain confessed. Then a clerk brought ink, pen, and paper, and Sir Gawain wrote to Sir Launcelot as follows. "Sir Launcelot, flower of the knighthood, I, Sir Gawain, son of King Lot of Orkney and of King Arthur's sister, send you my greetings. I am about to die. The cause of my death is the wound I received from you outside the city of Benwick, and I would make it known that my death was of my own seeking, that I was moved by the spirit of revenge and spite to provoke you to battle. Therefore, Sir Launcelot, I beseech you to visit my tomb and offer what prayers you will on my behalf, and for myself, I'm content to die at the hands of the noblest knight living. One more request, that you hasten with your armies across the sea and give succor to our noble king. Sir Mordred, his bastard son, has usurped the throne and now holds against him with an army of 100,000. He would have won the queen too, but she fled to the Tower of London and there charged her loyal supporters with her defense. Today is the 10th of May, and at noon I shall give up the ghost. This letter is written partly with my blood. This morning we fought our way ashore against the armies of Sir Mordred, and that is how my wound came to be reopened. We won the day, but my lord King Arthur needs you, and I too, that on my tomb you may bestow your blessing." Sir Gawain fainted when he had finished, and the king wept. When he came to, he was given extreme unction, and died, as he had anticipated, at the hour of noon. The king buried him in the chapel at Dover Castle, and there many came to see him, and all noticed the wound on his head, which he had received from Sir Launcelot.